Hey there. Hi, YouTube. Hi, everybody. Um, so this is this video right now, real quick, is to address a comment that was made on YouTube on one of my other videos. I have another video. I'll put the link in the comments later, but it's talking about why ghost ball aiming fails you, and it was a little test I did, just the spur of the moment, to try to find the center of the ghost ball around a ball when you're just like a foot or two from it. Um, and it showed how difficult it was, at least for me, to find the center of the ghost ball. Um, Imagine a ball, find the center, put a dot there, and so on. So anyway, I did this video 4 years ago or so, um, sitting at my desk, and it was just an idea I had to see what would happen. And at the end of the day, I get a lot of comments on it, right? Um, so a lot of people really seem to take offense, to talking about ghost ball versus centered edge aiming, and you know, like they must defend ghost ball or something like that. Look, ghost ball aiming has been around forever. It's easy to diagram. It's easy to show. It's just not simply easy to use. If it were easy to use, like I said a million times, we would not have tons of templates um, or tons of aids and devices and everything else to teach people how to use ghost ball. And that's my primary problem with it, because yes, it's easy to diagram. It's easy to show people. I do it. I use ghost ball as a tool to show people things. And it's very, very good for that. In game situations, I don't feel like that ghost ball um, is the best tool to use for aiming. I've said it, and I've said my reasons why. So I'll elaborate on that in a moment. But I want to read this comment real quick that this guy puts up. His name is Phil Metcalf, and he puts on here. He says I get the feeling that John Barton markets CTE aiming aids. Okay, number one, no, I don't. I don't sell anything related to centered edge aiming. I don't make any money on any instruction or anything like that. I'm just in this situation, I'm just a pool player who likes a particular aiming system because I was introduced to it and its precursors, like 15 years ago, and I'm a cheerleader for this method of aiming because I believe that it's good for pool, and I believe that everybody or almost everybody who uses it, who really tries to learn it, can benefit from it. So no, I don't have any financial interest in center to edge aiming. I'm not affiliated with anybody else. Anybody who does sell anything, like Stan Shuffett sells a DVD, or he sold a DVD, he's put in thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of hours of work to try to clarify and help people learn CTE. So he makes a DVD, he sells it. I guarantee you he's not getting rich off of it. So, maybe once in a while I'll recommend that people talk to him. If he does end up selling something with center to edge aiming, I'm sure it's going to be well researched and well worth the money. And at that time, I'll evaluate it. And if I like it, I'll recommend it. But I still won't have any personal profit off of it. So no, I don't market any CTA. So first of all, that's busted. Okay. The idea that I would do anything in pool to talk about teaching how to play pool or any technique in pool to personally make a profit off of it is ridiculous. Okay. First and foremost, I'm a pool player, and to me, that's highly important. I want people to get better at pool. I want people to enjoy pool. I want them to play pool more. All right. If there's any personal profit in this, it's that the more people who play pool, the more people who buy pool cue cases, which is my main business. It's actually what I do. And so, on a nebulous front, somewhere way down the line, it's possible that someone who learns an aiming system, starts playing pool better, enjoys the game more, decides they want to buy a better cue case, and ends up buying a case from me. So maybe somehow I could profit off that, but you guys get the idea. So, um, so he says, aside from that, even CTE requires a level of uncertainty and introduced error. No, it does not. Um, it does not. When you learn when you learn CTE correctly, there's no uncertainty. There's no introduced error in CTE. Um, at first, when you're learning it, like anything else, you're figuring out the visuals and the lines, and exactly what when you're trying to translate the instructions, someone's telling you what to look at. When I tell you what to look at, you don't always see what I see. Um, so it takes a while to kind of calibrate all that and get it set. But once it's set, it's concrete, it's objective, it's the same way every time. And I'm going to show you this here in a second. All right, he claims the system is nearly flawless, but it is still heavily subjective as every shot is different by angle and distance, requiring a subjective image by the cueist, and that results in error. Okay, no, absolutely not. And I'm gonna again, this I have a lineup here, so I'm gonna show you here using the one ball in the side, and every ball down here, we're gonna shoot this ball in, and I'm gonna show you from every different angle what the key is, and we're gonna shoot the shot. So we go from straight in to I don't even know what the angle would be on that, but obviously, if someone is over here using the 14 as the cue ball, and you're looking at the one ball in the side right there, that's obviously a steep cut, so that you could, that's not a shot that people look forward to taking. But when I shoot it, when I look at it, there's no subjectivity for me. So, I know what the key is, at least to aim it. Now, whether my stroke holds up or not, is different. Whether I actually hit the cue ball in the center is different, but the aim is dead perfect. So if you let me aim it and put my cue down, and then you took somebody with a rock solid stroke and you put them right down on that same line, they're likely to make the ball. Okay, the next thing he says is, regardless of how the aiming is done, the impact point is still the delivery. All right, nobody's disputing that. But the point of it is that when you use ghost ball, you're trying to imagine a full ball at that intersection, and then you're trying to replace that ball. Well, if your imagination is not right, then like this is a ball and this is a ball, right? Well, if your imagination is here or here, if you're slightly off, guess what? Your shot's off. If you're trying to replace an imaginary ball, or if you use any other of the 20 different techniques out there that purport to be ghost ball, right? The whole point of that is that it's imagination and estimation. Whereas centered edge aiming gives you concrete lines to look at to start with, and it gives you 3 points on the ball to use. And with those two things together, you form a key that aligns your body to the shot. So you can go down from the visual standing up down to the shot, and you're dead on line. You're perfectly on the shot line. Okay, the shot line being the line that the cue ball goes down to travel in order to have it contact the object ball at the proper point and send the object ball into the pocket. So just so we're clear on the terminology, the shot line is the line that the shooter adopts to actually send the cue ball down. Okay, so that's different, for example, from the aiming or from the lines chosen in centered edge. So if I say I start with the centered edge line and then I'd use edge to B, those are some CTE terms. Those two lines that I'm looking at are part of the key that gets me in position to go down and choose a place to be on the cue ball, where I'm going to now shoot the cue ball and shoot the shot. So the shot line. Okay, so so the next thing he says is I have trained newbies using ghost ball techniques, and their success at the table has been amazing. Yeah, okay. Um, again, ghost ball is tried and true standard for teaching beginners how to visualize aiming. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. Okay. Um, Aaron says, I don't understand Pro 1. Can you please explain that? Aaron, I'm not going to get into Pro 1 on this chat right now. I'm just going over this. But yeah, I mean, ghost ball is easy to diagram and show people as they're getting into pool. CTE is, of course, a little bit more of an advanced system of aiming. And so, very beginners, you may not want to teach them CTE at the very beginning of teaching them pool. However, I can tell you that I have taught aiming systems to people who are like, say, APA 3s and 4s and 5s, and these people started aiming better and thus making balls that are above their pay grade, so to speak. So you can look at it however you want, but the fact is that people who really learn center to edge aiming, their ball pocketing increases. Their ability to understand where the ball's going and where it's going after the contact and making the balls increases. That's why a lot of the shot making contests that are out there, a lot of the top guys, the top scorers, are center to edge users, or they're aiming system users who use other aiming systems that are also good, but they are system users. They're not just guessing and feeling. So the easiest way to understand the sweeps. Ted, I can't answer that right now. I'm just going over this one real quick about the this guy's assertions. Okay. All right. So I've trained newbies using Ghost Ball. Success table amazing. I have also shown that on steeper cuts, the squeeze friction will draw the object ball slightly out of track, but that using cue ball throw English along with ghost ball aiming, you can drastically compensate for the squeeze friction. Dude, call me confused. I don't know what the hell squeeze friction is. Okay. That's a new term that I've heard. I don't know. I guess you just made it up there, Phil Metcalf. Squeeze friction. So I guess you mean cut induced throw, perhaps, which is a common term that pretty much everybody accepts as a phenomenon that exists. Center to edge aiming seems to compensate pretty well for cut induced throw. So it actually, as Stan puts it, it actually puts the user or the shooter into a slightly overcut position, which then compensates for the throw. So where you would normally overcut it if there were no throw existent, then it actually puts it right into the right line. So I haven't actually tested that, so I don't know. I'm not going to dispute Stan on it, but I can tell you that if I follow the directions with center to edge aiming, I make the ball, as long as my stroke is good. So I'm going to guess that Stan is correct on this one. Okay. Regardless of method, practice is key to consistent potting. Perhaps John should conduct a survey of people who have used CTE and eventually abandoned it because it is so inconsistent. No. Okay. CTE is not inconsistent. It is consistent. Okay. That's like saying, there's software that has particular rules, right? And if I don't use the software properly, if I don't follow the rules or I try to do things, then the software says, nope, can't do it. Nope. You can't blame the system for user and operator error. Okay. The system and the instructions are clear. Just because I don't understand them, one person understands them awesome and the other person doesn't, it takes them longer to get there, doesn't mean that the system itself is inconsistent. It means that the people using the system are inconsistent. Okay. So He goes, there are just too many factors in CTE aiming that can make it inconsistent. For instance, change your cue. Try using CTE off the rail or anything else that takes you out of level aiming. No. Again, no. First of all, center to edge aiming is about getting to a center ball shot line. So when you're at a center ball shot line, as long as you're able to hit center ball, any cue works, right? So you're not worried about deflection of the cue. You're not putting side spin on the ball. When you introduce side spin, of course, then you have to know your cue. You have to adjust, possibly, depending on your cue and depending on the shot. That's a whole other dimension, right? But the center to edge aiming brings you to the center ball baseline of the shot. Now, if you decide I need right spin or left spin or whatever, then maybe you have to adjust off of that baseline to something else so that you can make the shot, so you can account for deflection. But if you're not using side spin, the cue doesn't matter. So that's a false assertion. Too many factors in CTE aiming. The guy doesn't even know what factors there are in CTE aiming. See, he doesn't know what the hell he's talking about as far as center to edge aiming. So he doesn't know center to edge, obviously, by what he's talking about, and he doesn't obviously know how to teach it either. Okay. So now Phil comes in. I replied to him, and then he comes in and he says, most pros have abandoned it because of its inconsistencies. So now we're getting to the meat of it. He goes, it is just another aid for learning how to aim. And I surmise that if you were any good at pool, you would have figured that out by now. Okay, well, they always throw that in, right? My personal skill versus whatever. So first of all, let's take the first part of that. Most pros have abandoned it. Well, first of all, the guy can't talk about most pros. I mean, I'm a billion positive he doesn't even know most pros, number one, nor what they use for aiming. So we would have to go with whatever the known pros are that do use it, and then decide whether the guys that came out and said I use it, and then for him to know that, or for any of us to know that, right? But the pros that I know who use it, Stevie Moore, Landon Shuffett, of course, that's a given. Sean Wilkie, Brandon Schuff, these guys here, Tyler Steyer, they all use it. They not one of them has said, I don't use CTE anymore, and given any reason why they don't. Okay. So those are 5 guys right there that are world-class players. You can look them up. And all of them use center to edge aiming. All of them are publicly out using center to edge aiming. Now, I will say this. There are other pros that Stan Shuffett has taught in his training facility in Kentucky, who do not wish to be named, who specifically said they don't wish to be named, who have gone to him for training. They've gone to fix, stroke problems or whatever their issues are. And some of them have learned center to edge aiming. Now, whether they use center to edge aiming in their game or not is unknown by me, and it's unknown by everyone else except maybe Stan and maybe that person and maybe a few other people in their circle. Until the day comes that they ever want to talk about it, we won't know whether they use center to edge aiming or not. Now, there are a lot of other pros who use other aiming methods, some of them very similar to center to edge. And they've, discussed it at times. Some pros, like Rodney Morris at one time said, I'm playing really good. I'm really seeing the shots better because of some things that Stevie Moore showed me about center to edge. So, that was a small disclaimer. And he, was talking about running out the 15 ball ghost in rotation and so on. So beating the 15 ball ghost. So, there's tidbits out there, but there's no possible way that this guy or me or anybody knows what all of the pros do. And I know a lot of pros, right? And I've talked to a lot of them about how they aim in these past 15 years. But a lot of times when I talk to these guys, they're not giving me permission to disclose the conversation. So they may tell me what they do, and a lot of them have. And a lot of the things that they do are very systematic in the way that they aim. So they're not exactly CTE, but they have similar keys and similar methods to be objective, very objective about the way they aim. So they don't go by feel. So this comment by this guy is just ludicrous, right? So then he goes on and he says, perhaps a couple of my pro buddies can chime in and explain it to you, or maybe embarrass you. See, I love that one, right? Embarrass me. CTE is a fancy trick that negates the truth of geometry and pool. I don't make videos, conveniently, so I can't show you, but maybe you can make another to prove your case. Okay, here I am. So there you go, guys. So make sure you include those long shots with cuts greater than 45 degrees. Okay, first of all, guys, I've done several videos over the years with long shots. Okay, the recent one was a couple months ago. You can look it up. I've done lots of videos with long shots. There's lots of videos with guys like Stan Shuffett, Landon Shuffett playing pool, Stevie Moore playing pool. All these guys, you can see pros and people who use centered edging long shots, right? So I don't know what the deal is with why he thinks that long shots are the problem here. Like CTE is only good for short shots or something, or shots of a certain distance. That's absolutely not true. And I'll tell you guys a real quick story about me. I played this guy. I gave him weight, and I lost. And at this time, when I was doing that, I was vacillating between centered edge aiming and another way to aim, and I was on an in between. So anyway, I went back to my shop and I made a commitment to myself. I said, I'm gonna learn centered edge as best I can, and I'm gonna commit to it. So when I go play pool, I am going to, I'm going to absolutely commit to this. And the next time I played the guy, I beat him. I beat him pretty good. I got stiffed, but I beat him. So, but the point is that by committing to centered edge aiming, it helped me to make a lot of those long shots, a lot of the shots that I was waffling on. Once I committed to it and I said, this is how I'm going to do it, those shots started dropping, so this nonsense about, CTE doesn't work for long shots, which the guy's trying to put out there, is just pure BS. All right, man. So what else do I got here real quick before I get to shoot? I'm sure you guys want to see me shoot some balls, so we'll see. Long, can you hold on for a minute? Okay. So he says, I'll continue to teach using GB and throw English on the steeper cuts. At least my newbies will have an understanding of table geometry, proper use of spin transfer, rail crush reactivity. What the? Can I cuss here? Usually doesn't stop me, but what the hell is rail crush activity? Okay, the guy's just making up terms. And pocket approach. Okay, so I think he's just making up terms to make himself feel good. Yeah, I spent plenty of time with CTE, and it adhered to understanding ball contact and knowledge of ball action. No, Phil Metcalf, you obviously didn't spend any time with CTE, because CTE is not about ball contact and spin transfer and ball reaction and all that. It's about getting on a shot line that puts you exactly where you need to send the cue ball down to the object ball. That's it. That's it right there. And it's been proven over and over and over again that users of CTE who really know how to use it are more accurate at shot making, period. There's plenty of shot making contests out there that CTE users have taken, published videos, published their results. And in those shot making contests, in the top 10 guys, there's always 3, 4, or 5 guys that are CTE users, okay? Out of the closet CTE users, where they say clearly, I use centered edge aiming. Here you go. Here's my results. So argue with those results if you want, but they're there. Okay. let's see here. So then he goes on to say that it looks like I misrepresented, like I made an effort to misrepresent ghost ball on this video. Now the video that I'm talking about, guys, is this. So you can see it here real quick. So this is a video where it says why ghost ball aiming fails you. So you can look it up. Okay. And in this video, what I did was I basically took a piece of paper. I took a piece of paper and I put it down and I put a ball down, right? And all I did was go around the ball and try to estimate where the ghost ball center is. You know, so I'm sitting here visualizing a ball and then I'm putting a marker dot where I think ghost ball center is. Well, my point of this, the exercise is that if I can't accurately, even a foot or two from the ball, find ghost ball center, or imagine a ghost ball and then find the center close enough to where it's going to send me on the right tangent line, then how can I expect to do it when I'm 9 feet away on a pool table? How can I expect to do it when I'm 3 or 4 feet above the ball, 2 feet above the ball, and then 9 foot distance? You know, that was the premise of the video. There was no doctoring to it or anything like that. It was just an idea that I had. So with that in mind, let me go ahead and show you guys his, you know, I'm going to debunk his assertions real quick and show you all these shots with different angles, and I'm going to use center to edge, and I'm going to call out the key. Now, those of you who know center to edge, you'll understand what I'm saying when I say edge to B, C, D, whatever, right? A, B, C. Those of you who don't, who watching this video, is probably none of you. You won't know what it means, but just understand that these are keys. That the way I see it, I call it a key. Stan calls it a perception. I just look at it like I pull a keychain out of my pocket and I flip through my keys real quick and I know which key goes to the lock. So that's an easy way for me to see it. All right, here we go. So real quick. Now I really got performance anxiety because Long showed up there. So, but we'll start out with this. This is just simple straight shot, right? So center to edge and edge to either A or C works here. Pivot to center, shoot the shot. Easy, right? Okay. For the purpose of this, we'll just replace the ball that I used there. Next one, center to edge. This is going to be the left edge because I'm cutting it to the right. Center to left edge, edge to A. Right there. Pivot to center. See, this is how I look at a shot. I don't try to imagine a ghost ball here or any tangent lines or anything like that. I just simply look at it, see the key, and go. Center to edge and edge to B. Pivot to center. Shoot the shot. Now, in honesty, I don't even know if I'm right or wrong on that. Okay, now, of course, being a pool player, you know, as long as I've been, obviously with a shot like this, I can see, once I get down on it, I can pretty much see whether I'm right or wrong. But you'll notice that I'm not going to get up and readjust on this, you know. So most of the time, 99% of the time, I'm going to look at it from up here. And once I get down, I'm down. That's it. So I'm committed to the shot. So center to edge, edge to B again. Oops, lost my ball. Okay. You'll notice the cuts are getting steeper. So center to edge and edge to B works again. Long, this is what I do instead of making pool cue cases. So I justify this as marketing. All right, center to edge and edge to B again works. Okay, center to edge, edge to B. Place like the cue ball. Okay, center to edge and edge to... See, I feel like I'm getting a little steep for that, but I'm going to go ahead and go with B again anyway. Okay. All right, now I'm going to switch to center to edge and edge to A. No, this actually from here would be A, B, C. Yeah, edge to A. Okay, and then from here, go with edge to A again. You guys will notice that the centered edge orients me to the shot in the first place, and the A, B, and C is micro movements that bring me to the exact shot line. So edge to A. Oh, finally missed one. Okay, let's try that one again. I think I got a little apprehensive on that. Otherwise known as jumping up and losing your rent money. All right, so from here, I've shot that twice. Now it could be my stroke, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to try a different key for this. I'm going to try 1/8 to 1/8 overlap. There we go. So right there, I had two choices, edge to A or 1/8 to 1/8 overlap for a thinner cut. And I chose edge to A twice. I missed it twice in the same place. So I went to the next key, right? So all the other keys I could discard. There's only two that I would have thought would work. Now this one here, all the way back to the rail, we're going to go with 1/8 to 1/8 overlap again. Too much? But you'll notice that, look how even when I miss the ball, I miss it here, I miss it here. I don't miss it here, I don't miss it here, because I'm not guessing. So this is putting me in the right space to make this ball. Now, can I be slightly off if I say 1/8 overlap? If I say 1/8 right here, can I be like 1/16 instead or something like that? Yes, of course I could. But it's getting me in that position to give me the best chance to get the right aim on this ball. And I overcut it. I even overcut it. So Long's waiting on me here, so I'm going to go ahead and move to the other side. You're good. Okay, I'm good. So he wants to see how many times I'm going to miss the shot. This is how he knows where to leave me when we gamble. Be like 1/8 my ass. All right. I'm even overcutting it from there, but look at how I'm missing right there. Look at that. Now, you bring me any ghost ball user, and I don't think that most people my speed are going to be that consistent even when they miss. So they may make it, more than me maybe out of the tries that I just did, and they may miss it as much as I did, but I doubt that they're going to be within a pocket, within less than a ball of the pocket each time. So last time, here we go. Finally. So if you guys give me 6 chances at the money ball, I'll make it. All right. Back to this side, same thing. You notice all the other shots though, like all the other ones up until we got to the very steepest cuts, the very thinnest cuts up there, were all no problem. So center to edge, edge to C. Center to edge, edge to B. Center to edge, edge to B. Oops. Try that one again. That's when I get lazy. So I don't know if you guys noticed that, but I didn't really stand up back here and look at it and come in. I just kind of went down from here. So you can be lazy. You can have the best tool in the world and not be good at using it and dog it. Center to edge, edge to B. You know, pool is all about discipline as well. So, you know, if you think it's a wonder tool or a magic bullet, you're going to find out that it's not, and it's going to cost you money. You know, a tool is still a tool, and you have to use it correctly. Center to edge and edge to B. Okay, edge to C. Edge to C. Long, how many times in your life have you faced a ball like that from there and felt some trepidation over it when it's a money ball?
A lot.
This is what I'm trying to explain to everyone is that, you know, we're not guaranteed to make these balls, but at least it gives us a chance to be more objective in how we approach it. So center to edge and edge to, I'm going to go with edge to C still. That one I know I dogged it with my stroke, so we'll do it again. You notice right here, I'm actually from here on this side, I'm not dead in the center, so I'm actually a little bit above the center line of the pocket from here. But that's okay. So still my stroke that dogged it. Edge to C. So that means that as I get down to these last two balls, this is actually a tougher cut than it was on the other side because it's not in the center of the pocket here. It's a little bit to the right of the pocket. I'm so dyslexic when I do these videos. I'll say like right or left, wrong. I do the same thing when I get directions or give directions. I don't know how anybody ever gets anywhere if they ask me for directions. All right, center to edge and edge to, this one I'm going to go 1/8 overlap right here. And the last one. For the 5 of you that are watching me, thanks for hanging out. Hopefully we'll get more people watching this video later. So again, center to edge. So we're going to go 1/8 overlap. Now in the 1/8 overlap, you don't use center to edge. I always use center to edge to orient me to the shot just in general. The first thing I do look at. So it just gets me, literally it gets me within a half a ball of the right shot line every time. Because I know, or actually it's a quarter ball, within a quarter ball of the shot line, of the correct shot line. That's a whole other topic. But I use it all the time just to get me in the right space. And then I go from there to find the key that I need. So in this case, it's going to be 1/8 overlap. and I'm way off on that one. So let me try that again. This is actually the 1/8 overlap is the one that I personally have most trouble with to line up and see it. To give you guys an indication real quick, last shot of what this looks like. This is what the 1/8 overlap looks like is you would take 1/8 is approximately the size of a tip of the ball. So if you take your Q-tip and you put it through the cue ball where the outer edge of the tip is in line with the outer edge of the cue ball, and that goes all the way through to where the other outer edge of your tip, the opposite edge, is with the edge of the 11 ball, that would be a 1/8 overlap. So that's what I try to visualize and get my body in line with. And then I'm going to lay my cue down to where it's right at center ball. So for this shot right here, I'm going to try to make it in the corner, the upper right corner with the 1/8 overlap. Let's see how close we get. Not very. Let's try it one more time, because that would be the only way to make this shot. If it even goes at all, that's the only way to do it. As far as the centered edge method goes. And he overcuts the room run again. So it's still a tough shot no matter what. But that's my personal, my biggest issue is that aim right there. But if this is all I have right here, say the 11 in the corner, for whatever reason, I got it. That's the only place I've got to go. Well, at least when I do this, I give myself a chance. That's better than nothing. All right. Anyway, guys, I'm done. That hopefully that shows you a little bit more of debunking the myths of what this guy talked about. And I appreciate that you guys were with me. CT works, everything does sweeps. Nope. Okay. So yeah, I'm not getting into Pro 1 or sweeps. Sorry about that. But anyway, if you guys want to go look at the why ghost ball aiming fails you video, and then you can see the comments, then you'll understand the context of some of these answers I gave here. And I will be linking to this video from that video so that, what's the guy's name? Phil Metcalf. Never heard of him, right? Looked him up on Fargo. I have no idea how he plays. His name is Phil Metcalf. So if any of you guys know him, feel free to PM me or, help me out on understanding how good of a player or an instructor the guy is. I'm sure he's not bad-hearted. All right. So I appreciate anybody who wants to help anybody else learn how to play pool, right? I love the game. I'm a fan. And so I appreciate that. What I don't appreciate is people who don't know what the hell they're talking about coming onto my videos and criticizing the method and using language that shows that they clearly don't understand it. So basically when they do that, they're attempting to tell other people not to use or even bother with a certain method. And that I don't condone, and that